Wish celebrates Disney's 100th anniversary while standing on its own as an animated film. We break down the film's ending, the betrayals, why it's evil to hoard intellectual properties, and why the only moral thing the rulers of a magical kingdom can do is give them back to their original owners. Be careful what you wish for. Wish takes place in Rosas, a beautiful land ruled by the sorcerer King Magnifico. He invited people all over the world to join his organization by exchanging their wishes for the right to live in and work for his kingdom, in the hope that he will one day use his magic powers to make those wishes come true. The film's protagonist, Asha, aspires to be King Magnifico's new apprentice, but she almost immediately discovers that he's not a good ruler. He's actually running a scam. He doesn't just acquire the ideas and dreams of his citizens, he hoards them and has no intention of letting most of his citizens benefit from the transaction. Only a small number of the people of Rosas see their dreams come true, and even in those cases, their dreams are corrupted to support King Magnifico's regime. As bad or worse, since the rest of the citizens no longer own their personal dreams, they cannot pursue them by themselves. They live hollow, empty lives because their fantasies were purchased by a tyrant who cares more about acquisitions than actual people. Over the course of Wish, Asha teams up with a magic wishing star to reveal King Magnifico's scheme and start a rebellion. Meanwhile, Magnifico starts studying the most evil magic of all, a corruption that the film explicitly states cannot be undone. He starts wrecking all the ideological concepts he has collected, his intellectual property if you will, to make himself more powerful. And in the end, the only way to stop him is to redistribute every piece of intellectual property he owns back to the people who created them in the first place. This is not a subtle allegory. Actually, it's hardly an allegory at all. Wish isn't subtle about who it's calling out. The film, as a celebration of 100 years of Disney, is full of shout-outs to and Easter eggs from the company's own vast catalog of intellectual properties. Sometimes, this amounts to little more than trivia. You can see the poison apple from Snow White on King Magnifico's desk if you keep your eyes peeled, but sometimes it's an actual plot point. We literally watch King Magnifico point out the wishes that contain the ideas for Peter Pan and Mary Poppins, which he now owns. We also see him cackle with glee as he wrecks those Disney properties for his personal gain. The movie even ends with a scene where the new leader of Rosas tells Peter Pan to strike out on his own with a new creator, happily putting Disney's older properties back into the domain of the public, which is something the Disney Corporation has fought legal battles to prevent for decades. Wish ends happily with a world specifically designed to evoke Disneyland, abandoning the business practices that made the company powerful but arguably soulless. However noble Disney's intentions may have been, when the company started, Wish argues that Disney has become corrupted and that the people currently running it. The Tragic Kingdom, Wish isn't the first Disney film to be explicitly anti-Disney. Tim Burton's remake of Dumbo stars Michael Keaton as Vanderveer, the owner of an amusement park called Dreamland. Vanderveer has purchased the talents of great artists and even purchases the flying elephant Dumbo himself. But the movie only ends happily when Dreamland's workers revolt, and Vanderveer uses a weapon hidden inside a building that looks suspiciously like the Epcot Center, and accidentally destroys everything he's ever built. Burton later went on to confirm that in regards to that film, I was Dumbo, and the film is quite autobiographical at a certain level. Whether the makers of Wish will one day also claim they were intentionally making a film that undermined the Disney corporate ethos, or whether they just subconsciously gravitated towards these themes, isn't the point. The point is that even in the morally simplified world of Disney's family-friendly films, Disney would be the villain just because it does what Disney does. And in its attempt to celebrate 100 years of corporate growth, the corporation has, in a blistering lack of self-awareness, produced a film that effectively denounces what the corporation has accomplished in that century. Whether you find that ironic or just tragic, it makes Wish an important entry into Disney's animated library, just not for the reasons Disney originally claimed it was.